we go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the thing I wanted to show was that I'm in like 30 frames of hit stun here after the dare, and he's like 2 frames late from landing this up smash. That's kind of the thing I wanted to point out about if they're getting their L cancel, so they're landing with 15 frames of landing lag. It's a tight timing. It's not tight, but it's specific, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You sort of need to be on point with it. And so, like, even though I got hit here, I had time to... I was just holding shield, you know? And Puff whiffed. I think one thing that made him whiff was that he was facing the wrong way. I got hit with the later hit of up smash. And I get lucky, but I'm just pointing out, like, sometimes I feel like if Puff's using dare a lot, even if you get hit by it, sometimes it's still kind of tight for them to hit it, you know?
I guess, yeah. I guess I didn't really appreciate it. Every time I get dared by Puff, I like almost always get up smashed. I feel like that timing. If it's as tight as you say, then like the Puffs that, well, obviously they practice their character, but they're pretty good about hitting it most of the time. And if I get dared at like anything above like 80-90%, I just assume I'm getting up smashed and killed.
Right. Yeah.
So
my point here is just we can if we're feeling lucky, you know, we can kind of hold shield. The other thing is that they like to mix up grab here, which would lose to that type of situation, you know.
I'll be honest, getting dash dance grabbed when my problem in this matchup is that I do hold shield too much and I get dash dance grabbed so much. And I like every time it upsets me because I'm like, you know, I have twice the grab range of this character and I can't find these grabs on you. Like, What am I doing wrong? And then I'm like, well, I'm holding shield all the time. You're not doing that. So, you know, egg on knife ace.
I kind of am, though. Like, I think I'm shielding too much in this matchup. And something I've been thinking about is that when Puff isn't back airing, kind of like I was saying before, I feel like we can more aggressively go for like forward tilt and down tilt. Like, instead of shielding. Like, where a shield would have worked just fine, we can sneak in some damage on some of these other moves. But only shielding when she's using back air. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So I was kind of waiting for a time to bring this up, and it hasn't really come, and I'm not sure if it will at this point, so I just wanted to put this out here now as like kind of my golden rule for this matchup. I feel like a lot of players and a lot of characters treat Puff as like this perpetually airborne demon that can just jump around infinitely and just wall you out with bear all day. But my secret, if you want to call it that, it's not really a secret, is that, you know, as a Kirby main, we have the same number of jumps as Puff, and as we all know very far too well, that number is not actually infinity, it's 6. So despite how scary Puff can be floating around all the time, Puff does have to land on the ground sometimes.
Yeah.
And when Puff is on the ground against you, there are literally only 2 real things that she can do. Grab you or take back to the skies. Nothing else is remotely scary. So my entire game plan in neutral for this matchup, when I do have to play it, which incidentally is as little as possible, but when I not the matchup itself, playing neutral specifically in this matchup, I try to do that as little as possible. But my entire game plan for neutral is stay underneath Puff, watch her movement, wait for her to inevitably land, and then play a mix-up that can hit her, and then rinse and repeat that. That is my overarching game plan, and you know, my ability to execute on that game plan aside, and my stupid habits that get me punished aside, I do think that game plan in general is very solid and like the best way to kind of exploit Puff in this matchup.
I think that sounds really good. Yeah, I think that is kind of how you described it, how I feel. I feel like, yep, this airborne demon, exactly. But it's true. It's like we got to kind of take note and catch how Puff likes to land and when they like to land, you know, because they have to do it eventually. Mm-hmm. Like this Puff that I was playing, this Puff was in Platinum 3, I think. This Puff played like just waited to the maximum amount of jumps possible before he landed. It was kind of annoying me. I was like, how many more jumps do you have? Still in the air. Come on. You know,
I am always counting Puff's jumps at all times.
smart. See, I don't do that. I don't count Puff's jumps.
Does Jigglypuff have the thing where the more jumps she uses, the less height she gets, or is that just us?
Yeah, that's Kirby and Puff's jumps are very similar. They both lose height after each one of their jumps. They both reset their Puff up animation. So if you throw out an aerial with Puff while you're jumping around, it lets you have more horizontal mobility, just like Kirby. Puff just happens to be better at it.
Yeah.
Which is why so many Puffs are just always throwing out a forward air bear while they're jumping around, because it's the movement thing. It literally makes them move faster.
Let's see. So one thing. Hey, welcome to the chat. You're being recorded, by the way. One thing that I think strike on this stage, I was going to bring it up. I have some notes. Was that when we go for an up throw Kerbicide on this stage, Puff survives. And I've only ever seen it once, and it was the other day where a Puff, literally, I think she was holding up.
It's happened to me with Pikachu and Pichu on this stage too.
Every single character can survive up Kirby's up throw on this stage.
Right. She made it back. She got back perfectly fine. And
almost every character can.
I was really upset by it.
Very sad.
So it's kind of a point about Fountain of Dreams. They won't survive on Fountain, obviously.
I've watched a Puff survive on Fountain, but
really?
Yes, they have to jump frame perfectly at the blast zone and do 5 perfect rising pounds and then air dodge.
Wow.
And then they can just barely make it back onto the stage. If they are not perfect, you can just hold the edge of the stage and then they will just air dodge to their death even when they get all the way up.
Unreal.
But with absolutely perfect rising pounds, they can make it back. But the thing is that those are all very telegraphed, and by the time you respawn, you can just run back off there, hit them with like one hitbox there, and they're dead.
Right.
So it's not really a threat.
Right. Let me see. I thought I wrote down a clip and I didn't clip it. Oh no. I got a really funny up throw on this Puff. Anyway. Let me see.
Also, I don't know. Plu, you have been muted for the last 30 minutes. If that's intentional, that's all well and good. I just wanted to let you know.
No, sometimes we're kind of quick, so I don't really get a chance to like elaborate, but I agree with most of what's been saying, so it's chill. But thanks for asking. But I'm here.
Okay.
Sweet. Yeah, I hope we're not talking over you or anybody. Let me see. So let's see. We talked about our recovery options. We talked about stage picks. Oh yeah, a couple things. There was another punish that I wanted to show. I found this punish on SDJ the other day. Like I said, another high percent punish.
That's beautiful.
Delicious.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Shield poke.
Oh, I love that.
Dare pop up. I was a little slow because I didn't recognize that I got it. You know.
Yeah.
I
You
didn't
still
do
have
it.
so much time to do it.
If you go frame by frame, was that a true combo? Like, even if it wasn't, like, it absolutely could have been. I'm just curious if it wasn't.
It could have been. I don't have the frame by frame on this. This is just the.
Can you not just push?
That was a true combo. Yeah.
That's usually a pretty common thing for frame by frame on a video player.
Let me see. Which is just arrow.
Period.
No. I could pull up the match though because I know right where it is.
It's not that important. The important part is it could have been a true combo if you had acted a little sooner out of that.
I think it certainly is because you can see even here, like I have time to like walk a little bit, recognize what the heck is going on, and I'm late on the up air.
Yeah.
Here it wasn't a true combo just because I was late, but I think if I have that in my repertoire, the dare pop up air is really nice. I pulled up our chart, by the way.
Yeah, it's always a true combo. Like from anyone, from whenever it knocks down.
Mm-hmm.
We knocked down with dare at 71% on Puff.
Yeah.
So
and that will always be true. Yeah.
Yep. So just kind of pointing it out, like there's a certain percentage where dare knockdown into up smash comes in, dare knockdown into up air, as you can see. Something I've been trying to do to style on like Marths and Sheiks is trying to use one hit of dare on their recovery from ledge when they overshoot. That's something I was thinking about. But I feel like dare knockdown has a lot of room for us to grow with that. I think that's a relatively underexplored combo tool is using dare for knockdowns.
I agree. You know, the way the Foxes labbed Kirby Puff, Fox Puff, they like basically said at what percents can we get what kills, and they have like a giant flow chart of like you're in this range, these are the kills. You're in this range, these are the kills. It kind of would be helpful if we had that, right?
Yeah.
You said up smash comes in like 60 to 80%.
Let me see. I have it written down here. It is on Dreamland is 80% sweet spot.
With what DI? Best DI or no DI?
That was just with no DI. Yep.
Yeah. I'm labbing down smashes right now on Pop. It'd be cool if we had like, oh, it'd be cool. Just like at this range, what do you want to kill with this range?
I think so too. Actually, I think that's why I'm going through some of these percents. It's just like I feel like with Puff, it's a struggle matchup for me, and that I want to be more intentional with how I get the KOs.
Mm.
And I'm not, I don't really know what the KO percents are. I'm not confident on this matchup at all. Let me see. So yeah, one thing else about this clip I kind of wanted to point out just briefly was just I sort of like the way the movement, like we're kind of talking about platform movements here. Like I said, I kind of like the way that platform movement works on this stage a lot.
Yeah.
I don't hate the stage. I kind of like the stage.
Puff struggles too, right? With the because that's how they balance the multi-jump characters. We have to use 2 jumps to get to the plat.
Right.
Puff and Kirby. Dreamland. But we're faster.
And that's like the one saving grace on this matchup is we go a little faster up and a little faster down.
Yeah.
Everything else, Puff is faster than us. Except maybe run speed.
Yeah.
I feel like we run faster than Puff does, but that's not a
I think our
non-issue.
wave dash is maybe faster than Puff in the air, or pretty comparable.
Right.
Even like max wave dashes, we're just pumping them out.
I'm curious about that actually. I'd like to see how fast if we can keep up with Puff in the air. Yeah.
Yeah. Can Sheik? Do you know? Because if she can, then we can.
Oh, can Sheik do it? Oh, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hmm.
I feel like Sheik has her run speed is fast enough. Yeah. I would say. Let's see. The last thing that I wanted to bring up, let me look at my clips one more time. Before we get into rest punishes section. Let me see. There was something else. Oh yeah, I wanted to show real quick. Just another interesting scenario here that I liked. This whole situation right here, delicious. Even though the aerial side B doesn't hit, it still kind of baits the Puff to come down here, where we're actually a little stronger than her, sort of, I think we moved past our aerial side B conversation kind of quick, so I didn't want to forget it, but just a little note about this whole interaction. Love that. Love that. And then, oh yeah, one more thing about something I was kind of thinking about was just like our neutral game plan from 0. This kind of, to me, this is like how it should go in a perfect world. Pretzels up, a stock. This damage, 25. Huge. Huge. Like, to me, this is the perfect world of Kirby Puff right there.
As soon as you're a stock up in this matchup, I swear, it's like twice as easy.
It comes online.
Yeah, because they have to start approaching you, and they can't really do that as easily with back air. Yeah. So then they have to use their other aerials and stuff. And that's when we could actually do stuff.
Right. Huge. Yeah, like I said, that was like the perfect stock right there. And it's just up throw, but I feel like even though all we're doing is getting a reset in this situation, I think it's probably better than most of what we could have got.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it's a pretty safe option. Gives us a quick 10%. I think it is kind of worth it for Puff to see what they do if they mash out of a throw. Out of grab release. Like if we go for just some pummels and then try to line that up that's not something that I tend to go for very often, but I feel like Puff, besides her just rolling away, doesn't have any meaningful way to respond to that faster than what we could do, like just with like a down tilt or an F tilt.
Yeah, that's something I actually do a lot. Sorry, go ahead, Sanji.
Nah, I was just saying, all our grounded options are really slow, so she can't even hit you, no matter what we do, really.
Right.
Then you were going to say?
Yeah, I was going to say, that's actually something I do a lot. Like, if I'm facing ledge with Puff, I will just pummel until they grab release, and then 90% of the time they don't do the jump grab release, and you just get a free down tilt, and that's more damage than that's more of a damage and more of a true follow-up than you would have gotten by any throw option.
Right. It's just like an up throw,
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Little more damage, I think. I think down tilt also does 10, but I think you just getting that extra pummel in there, which isn't guaranteed with an up throw, you can just get more. And then sometimes you get two or three pummels in, and then it's
right.
And then if you're really lucky, you get a follow up after the down tilt because they weren't expecting to get down tilted out of a grab.
Right. I think that's kind of big. I think that's something, and I think down tilt is a move I'm happy to let get stale too. Not really tracking how stale my moves are, but the down tilt, I'm happy about that. Just use down tilt a lot. I feel like I use down tilt a lot in this matchup.
I need to use it more. I use it a lot, and I still need to use it more. It's really... Down tilt and F tilt are both very good. Once Puff has to land, then she's either landing on a platform and you're fishing for up air bear, or she's landing on the ground and you're fishing for down tilt F tilt, like in my experience. That's pretty much all I'm looking for until Puff is at a killable percent. I'll also say, with reference to move scaling, I don't really keep track of move scaling in any matchup, which is, I think, a lot goes kind of hand in hand with my reason why I don't really pay attention to percents too much. I am usually just trying to throw out whatever move I think will hit Puff and keep me safe, and I'm not really concerned about whether it'll kill or not most of the time. I just feel like this matchup, sometimes you're not going to get a kill for 120, 130%, and that's just how it is sometimes.
Right.
I'm just willing to just keep winning neutral until that kill just kind of inevitably happens. Which may or may not be a good mentality, but that is at the very least how I play the matchup.
No, I think it's wise. I don't think our moves being stale comes too much into this matchup, but the only time I really think about it is when, after I've landed 5 bears in a row, you really start to feel it. It's like, instead of doing our normal 14% off of a bear, now we're doing 9. And that really
Okay.
hurts, you know?
Yes, but but if you land 5 bears in a row against Puff, like they're hurting from the emotional.
Yeah. So it's like
So it's
I'll
still a win.
notice. Yeah, exactly. I'll keep it in mind after like that happens. I'll go, yeah, bear is stale. Like I keep a note. But it's like after 1 or 2 bears, I'm not that worried about it. You know? I guess the only really reason it would come into play is like it would affect how good bear is on shield. Like low bear into up tilt.
Right.
Which is like I think a common way that I find up tilt KOs in this matchup is like if I can catch them shielding, hit them with a low bear into up tilt on the shield grab. Like I've gotten that before. But like I said, it's one of those situations too. It's like in that situation, I'm still letting up tilt get the KO, which is still pretty late, even though it's not that bad. But it's like I feel like I want to find earlier KOs on Puff. You know?
It's really, I know it can be tricky to hit with, but like a clean bear will kill at around 100% on pretty much every stage of a Dreamland.
Right.
The trouble is usually just trying to hit that clean bear. What I like at around 100%, that's like I said, that's where I usually start looking for kills, at least a little more than I otherwise would. And I, as I said, like near the start of this discussion, once I really don't feel like Puff should be living much past 130. So I'm pretty much once Puff's living past 130, then I'm just like in panic zone. Like I am either they are playing like a defensive god, or I am playing horrendously and just making very bad decisions.
Right.
But at 100%, we have so many things that kill Puff on so many stages in so many ways.
Right.
Like any stray aerial is going to kill. Double tap fair into your favorite aerial is probably going to kill. Down smash, up smash, F smash, clean bear, clean up air. In some circumstances, if the Puff's not expecting it, you can get away with a back throw at the ledge of the stage, and that kills. Like it's like a good chunk of our move set. Like
Right.
you're landing a grounded hammer, but if Puff goes for a rest, yeah, grounded hammer kills.
Yeah. Sometimes though, I think there's a read. Like if I can find a grounded hammer read, sometimes I think it's on like. I bet we could do it on a. Like in that situation where Puff does a dare on our shield, which would be minus 12%. I mean, sorry, minus 12 on shield. I kind of want to try like wave dash back out of shield and just fire off a hammer, especially while they go for something really slow like up smash. You know what I'm saying? Like if they're just going to. I feel like there's some reads with like F smash. Sometimes I feel like I can call out when a Puff is going to use an F smash in a sloppy way.
Mm-hmm.
So we can hammer that. But yeah, I'm thinking about it. I've been thinking about hammer a lot in this matchup too.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it. I definitely think that there's situations where you can just somewhat safely throw out a grounded hammer in certain neutral situations. It's obviously never going to be a guarantee. It's still going to be a read unless like they literally miss a rest, or you catch them at the like frame 1 of committing to an up smash when you throw the hammer out.
Right.
Like then I personally don't have I have a garbage reaction time as is, and Kirby's not the fastest character, and hammer's not the fastest move in Kirby's arsenal. But I do think like, wave dash back hammer has some merit when you think that the Puff is going to land and come in with something or other throughout. Even like you could even use it to like theoretically punish like grab or something if you like suspect like Puff's about out of jumps, and then I know what happens to me a lot is when I Puff's out of jumps, I try to shield the last bear and I just get turned around grabbed.
Right.
But I feel like if a Puff went for that very grab and I was prepared to like do a wave dash back hammer, that can get some mileage.
I was thinking that too. I think that'd be sweet. That'd be such a cool hammer.
I've definitely tried this a few times, and I always seem to get sour spot hammers or whiffs. Obviously, I very rarely get the sweet spot, so I'm a little bit jaded to it. I think it can work. I'm just not good enough to hit it.
And I mean, I do think that there's merit there just on account of how early hammer can KO Puff. I don't have the percents on hand for that, but like, it's early. It's a strong move. Even just taking the 23%, like out of a rest punish, is really nice. And so here's a situation. Let me segue right into that. Nice KO. Nice movement. Nice DI. To me, that's the perfect punish right there. Have you guys ever really labbed out big rest punishes?
Yeah, Sinji and I did a while ago. There should be a chart of like all the ideal punishes. Generally, rollout's the best. But obviously, it depends on you having rollout and take some time. Otherwise, I think I'd have to just look at the chart, but I think it comes down to side B or up smash.
It's sweet spot hammer or fully charged up smash, and they're pretty comparable, but charged up smash is like slightly stronger.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so sad.
Yeah.
The rollout kills like maybe 10% sooner if you do like full charge rollout.
But I believe they can attack it if they're prepared.
Yeah, I think
Really?
so too.
Is that just because of the angle?
Yeah. Because it just sends straight to the left or right.
Huh. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. But for a quick and easy one, hammer is still really good. 23%, and it'll kill really early.
Is
Really
the
nice.
angle the same if we do rollout in the air versus the ground?
I actually don't know.
Yeah, I don't know that either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I was thinking about it. I feel like we don't have to overthink a rest punish. So, because I think that's a mistake. I think it all depends to me about where Puff is on the stage. You know, like, can we line up a curbicide on her? I feel like if Puff was like where this rest landed. Let me see. Yeah, so like if Puff was just a little farther to the left towards the stage, or even like up on the plat or something, I could see like a running short hop inhale straight off the ledge. Something I've done before, you know, I'll go for that. Especially if I'm confident, if I'm up a stock, you know. On this stage, so Puff's one of those characters, Sanji, correct me if I'm wrong, we tie.
Yeah, we tie. There's
On
like
an
certain
inhale?
positions where actually I have a chart of this. But yeah, if you do it from certain positions, then you can guarantee that you can live and you don't have to tie.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it is really annoying that she is one of the ones that you tie with.
Yeah. It's like I saw Pretzel posted a clip a while ago where you got the up throw right on the platform, which I thought was pretty awesome. Like, you know, Puff just died for that. I'm happy about it. And then I think even in this situation, like let's say she was a little closer and we were running out of time. I was thinking about, I was kind of labbing out some ideas, but I didn't write down too much. But I was thinking about Puff's at 0. I kind of want to see what would happen if we could catch her with a double tap fair, so that I think even from this position where she's at, she would slide off the ledge if she was holding down. Kind of curious to see if we can catch a Puff holding down. Really anybody, but double tap fair, let her slide off the ledge, and then do like a pretty much a panic double jump. I bet we could just like short hop inhale after that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can see it.
Does that make any sense? That's like a call out.
Yeah. It's pretty risky, but yeah. If you have a really good read, then yeah.
Right. Yeah, another.
I'm
Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm just gonna say I'm really scared of overthinking rest punishes. If
Yeah.
I had a nickel for every time I saw somebody overthink a Puff rest punish in tournament and get bodied for it, I could pay for every super major I ever won.
Yeah, I'd rather just take the 23% in good positioning and be done with it.
Exactly. I think that's really the good play, especially if we can KO. You know,
Yeah.
if we're in a KO range, she's too high. Come in with a hammer and kill her or an up smash. I think.
Yoshi's is I will also say that Yochi's is kind of like the only stage where this doesn't come into play. But like, if Puff missed arrests in this position and she's at 0 and like we're at a high percent, if like we're a stock up or even like at the same stock and we're just like about to lose our stock, what I like to do is I just like to push Puff to the edge of the stage and then roll to the edge and then up.
Yeah, I like that too.
If you have time, you can also go for inhale, but the up throw, you're usually running out of time by the time you push Puff to the edge of the stage. So depending on what you have time for, you either inhale or if you don't have time, just up throw. And either way, it's usually just a stock trade, or you can
I like that a
close
lot.
it out as a stock trade next stock.
I like that a lot. Yeah, I think I've done that before. I'll go for an inhale there if I have time. Walk Puff over to the corner and then like run past, double jump, turn around, inhale. But I agree with you. I don't think it's worth it to overthink the rest punish. One thing that I think would probably be a decent punish without overthinking it, although it has more counterplay than just hammer, is to hit like a drill only dare into some option.
Yep,
So-
I actually think that Plu and Sanji labbed this a while back, and I had a relatively long discussion with one or both of them about this. And like the problem with DOD is it can work, but A, you have to be very consistent at it, and B, your opponent has to not know how to SDI it. And if either of those things are not the case, you're probably going to get 3% and probably counter arrested.
Yeah. Like, I think that, like, there's an argument for me where, like, if up smash doesn't KO, like, I think if hammer doesn't KO, then just take the hammer percent. One thing I was thinking about was doing, like, a down air. So if every hit of down air connects, we're going to do 19%, I think? Or was it 18?
It's 18, and then if they crash cancel, we're like -5. But Jigglypuff
Gotcha.
can't really do anything other
Gotcha.
than like to directly punish us.
So that's what I was kind of thinking. You know how sometimes foxes will do this thing? I see this a lot versus Marth. They'll come down with like a dare and then not do anything. Let the Marth do like a panic roll and then go and dare them on the roll. I kind of wonder if we could do like a drill only dare. I know I'm way overthinking this, but the only reason why I think I want to try something like this is for the psychological damage. I want to try doing a drill only dare, DOD, and then not do anything and let them and just wait to see what they do. Even though I could have gotten a true follow up, if they do like a roll to the right or to the left, then I want to dash and grab that. Or something like that. Just for the sake of saying, I know which way you're going. You know what I'm saying? Or the other big punish I was thinking about was do a drill only dare, and let's say I'm calling them holding shield and buffer roll right. Dash, short hop, drill only dare again in that direction. And try to stack them up. You know, I was like, how many times can I do it? Obviously, I've never gotten into this situation before, but
Yeah, this
I'm
is
kind of thinking,
really
you
hard
know,
to.
I think I'm overthinking it, but at the same time, I'm not going to kill her from this percent, you know. Can't kill her. Let's say, I feel like we might be able to find like a deeper punish there and just take some percent if it doesn't work out. You know, I'll take anything at that point. But I don't, like I said, I feel like the only really damage I'm trying to do is the mental. And I want you to regret using rest, and I want you to regret rolling. And I want you to regret playing me. You know? Like, how can I make it hurt even worse? That's kind of what I was thinking about.
That's completely reasonable, honestly. But you know, you have to weigh that against the mental damage that you yourself take if you mess it up.
Right.
And for me, it's still not worth it.
Because I feel like one of these days it'll land.
Serial rabbit, maybe. Like if we walk Puff to like Plaid or something. What about like an up throw ASD some way?
Oh yeah.
Puff can always DI away on up throw, and you can't get a fall. It's never guaranteed.
Okay, but at least we get 10% and they're above us, right?
Right.
Sure, but
But
we can
yeah,
also
but-
get 23% and they're above us.
Yeah, that's a trade-off, right? It's like we can overthink it, and then
Yeah.
we're losing percent, you know.
Yeah. So what is the idea then, right? We're like Puff is at 0%. What is the best thing to do?
Right.
Hammer.
Yeah, I
That's
think
the
so
most
too.
conservative option. Okay, cool.
I think so too. I'd say if I have one other like mode here, in that if we have like a rest punish where we're not going to kill her, if I was really running the clock on a puff, I could see coming down with
Ooh.
taking inhale and then
Or just holding it in your mouth.
using the copy ability actually.
Yeah.
And that was something that I've been kind of playing around with a little bit, especially on big stages like FD, really nice stage for that, and Pokemon Stadium. Is I'll take the copy ability if I can find it, and then I'll run to the other side of the stage and use it. And then I'll watch the puff.
God.
I'll watch the puff go through the stage. I don't have a clip, but I
You're
did this to this
crazy.
one puff, and she'll go like she jumped up to the platform. She waited there. There's like, I don't know, 4 minutes on the clock. You know what I'm saying? She like waited there. She's like, wait a minute, how do I deal with this? And then all this time had passed. You know what I'm saying? I was kind of like, I wonder if I could just like, and then when she got close, I would fire it off and just roll to the other side. You know, so I wouldn't let it, I wasn't really trying to hit her with it. I was just trying to stall with it. It kind of, it was kind of working, you know?
I like that a lot, and I used to do something similar. And then one time, and I kid you not, like this happened one time and one time only. I don't think it's consistent. I got rested out of a rollout,
Nice.
Yeah, you can.
and it scarred me for life, and I never went for it again.
Yeah,
Right.
you can crash chance a rollout.
Yeah, it's really
so
bad.
messed
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Yo, you should edit that out and not put it on the
But yeah, that's what I think. I think rollout. I do think there's a play with rollout in this matchup. In that I think it's not that I want to KO puff with it, but that I kind of want to stall on larger stages. So if I find myself on Pokemon Stadium or even Dreamland, I can see using rollout in sort of a stall, sort of campy way. If the puff is like super overthinking it, you know, if I see the puff feeling pressured, we've got a lead. Puff doesn't want to be silly and die to something stupid. That's psychological damage right there. You know, I feel like you got to make Puff overthink things a little bit.
If
So
the
that's-
puff doesn't know how
Okay, go ahead.
if the puff doesn't know how their own move works, then that's on them. You can just jump behind the person using rollout, and they can't hit you.
I agree. And like I said, I feel like that's a Puff thing they might not know. They know back air and they know rest. You know? I should say they know no rest. But it's like, to me, it's like, I feel like there is a play where we can take the copy ability if we're confident about running the clock. And we can kind of play with it a little bit. That's really a theoretical one for me. I'm still exploring that option. Like I said, I don't play against enough puffs where it comes up, you know?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Anyways. Let me see. Let me check my notes. I feel like this has been a really good discussion. I think we've talked it to death.
I mean, I guess the only thing we haven't really covered is edge guarding puff. But like, yeah.
Yeah.
So actually, that's a good point, because I actually have probably more to say on that than
Okay.
like, most of this matchup, because I think that we are really good at edge guarding Puff.
Yeah.
Right.
Because we have one thing going for us that not a lot of other characters have, and that is that we can chase Puff to pretty much any blast zone and on any stage. It's not always the safest thing for us to do, but if we want to chase Puff to like the ends of Dreamland, like any of the four corners, like we can do that and like still make it back to stage. And that was kind of what I was semi-labbing out when I posted that clip a while back about like, you know, all the points on Dreamland where Kirby can recover from.
Right.
I think Puff is edge play in this matchup is like my favorite part of it by far. Way more interesting than neutral IMO.
Yeah.
Puff basically has two ways that she can recover against us. She can recover really high to the top platform if she gets sent up relatively high, or she can recover relatively low and try to sweet spot ledge. One thing that we have going for us that Puff doesn't is that we have a functional up B that actually lets us recover. So we have the luxury of recovering extremely low. and Puff cannot do that. So if you see a Puff that's recovering remotely close to the level with the stage, there's a 90% chance that they want to go for the edge, and they are going to play all the drift mix-ups they want. But
Right.
they're still their goal is still to grab that ledge by the end of the day.
Right.
So if Puff decides they want to go to the top platform, or like if Puff's doing the high recovery game, what I like to do is just kind of jump match them. So every time they burn a jump recovering, I also burn a jump. Every time they fast fall, I fast fall, and just kind of mirror that. And you can get a lot of like, because like Puffs can't stay out beyond the offstage area for like indefinite periods. In practice, I don't really see a lot of Puffs do side B to like kind of stall out the recovery, except for when they're playing for time. So you can kind of corner them. Despite Puff's superior mobility, you can always position yourself between Puff and the stage, and at some point, Puff has to cross you to get to the stage. And you can take advantage of that and just kind of throw out aerials. And I'm not going to say that you're going to have like a 100% success rate. I'd say that my success rate is like 25%, maybe even a little lower. But like it is, I see a lot of Kirby's like play the matchup and they just don't even bother trying to edgeguard Puff. Ginger comes to mind. But like pretty much, I don't really see anybody trying to edgeguard Puff. And we are really good at matching Puff's jumps and just kind of walling her off with aerials if she recovers high. And if she recovers low, like we can kind of just like hover above her a little bit and like threaten with dare. We can threaten with fastball bear, depending on which direction we're facing. We can threaten with double tap fair into some kind of verm. Like we have a lot of options for edge guarding Puff.
Right.
As long as you are spacing in a way that you don't get counterattacked, or more importantly, don't get counterattacked in a way that's going to get you reversaled, I think it's almost always worth trying to go off stage and edgeguard Puff when the opportunity presents itself.
Yeah, I think that's an aspect that I'm underexplored on too. I feel like I've underexplored that.
Yeah. Yes, one thing about Dana is that it does use up her jump resources in order to meteor cancel.
Right.
It's not that reliable at it, but yeah.
If you can get like 2 hits of down air and like yoink 2 of Puff's jumps, Puff is already in a very bad position.
Yeah.
Like I won't lie, like a lot of my kills on Puff are from gimping her, which sounds insane, but like I probably have as many gimp kills on Puffs as I have clean kills with like blast zoning her. And that's that's not really a luxury that a lot of characters have, I don't think. I don't think a lot of characters that aren't named Marth or Falco, and arguably even Marth and Falco, don't really have a lot of success gimping Puff.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, if she's like going lower or like near the edge, you can like position yourself where down here pretty much covers exactly where she wants to go. And yeah, you could just burn her jumps that way.
Yeah. I played like 1 game with SDJ against their Puff. And we spent pretty much over half the match just playing on the ledge of the stage. And like they're very good at recovering and like not letting me recover. But like that's some of the most fun Kirby Puff I've ever played. So I got to like use and see a lot of ideas of like how like edge interactions between Kirby and Puff like in theory, I feel like that's how it should be going a lot of the time. I feel like if I were playing a little better, I could have closed out a few more edge guards. I feel like if they were playing a little more better or have a little more experience, they could have closed them out more. But I think that this matchup kind of, a lot of the time, rides or dies on your ability to keep Puff off stage and in the corner. As soon as you're letting Puff jump around and float around the stage freely, the Puff is in their comfort zone. And you want to make Puff as uncomfortable as possible.
Yeah. The mobility thing, like she has superior mobility, but she has to like he was saying earlier, she has to land eventually, and she can't do that off stage. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that's all good points. Yeah, I was gonna say, I think in the beginning of this clip, actually. Yeah, it's like that. I know we're kind of talking about those those high recoveries where we can jump match, but at the same time, I think there is room there for if Puff is going towards the ledge. Another thing to point out is Tipper down smash. Really nice in this matchup.
I'm so mad. Up air would have killed there. A better position bear would have killed there. Dare could have killed there. Like anything other than what I did would have killed there.
You got the kill. You got the kill.
Oh,
though.
it killed. Okay,
Oh, yeah,
never mind.
kill.
I did the perfect thing, and I'm a genius.
You got the kill. yeah.
Definitely. No, but really, that was not a good. It was a fine bear, but it wasn't the best option.
Yeah. Whenever I'm edge guarding Puff, I always just default to back air when up air and like,
Right.
yeah.
If you did a
It's
ledge
so
drop up
much
air
more-
there, that would have been juicy. Yeah, that would have been crazy.
It's so much more tempting to do the easy thing than it is to do the good thing.
Yeah.
Especially on Puff. All right. Well, do you guys have any more thoughts you'd like to add?
Matchups 50-50 until Puff gets the lead. So don't let
Yeah.
Puff get the lead, and then everything else comes down to fundamentals, I think.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think, like I said this at the beginning, like everything that we've been talking about through the entirety of this discourse covers the 20% of the time when somebody has lost neutral or is getting pressured or edge guarded or punishing
Right.
with punishing or rest punishing or something else. But 80% of the time, the matchup is just who has better fundamentals and who's using those fundamentals better.
Yeah. I think it's slightly in Jigglypuff's favor, but it's not as bad as it should be on paper.
It is not as bad as it should be on paper, and on paper it's really, really bad. But in practice, it's extremely. I would even go as far as saying it's one of Kirby's better matchups.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
I guess my takeaway would be we have better vertical than Puff. And I think if we just stay on the ground, we can wave dash faster than she can drift in the air. Or at least keep up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
we
think
just have to play super grounded while she takes the air. Yeah, pretty
or
much.
use plats, Like I think we have more movement options than she does.
I think I agree with that.
Interesting. Well, I think that's a good time to wrap it up then.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thanks, guys. We did another 2-hour long matchup discussion. That was good.
Oh, yeah.
Very productive.
Heck yeah.